So here's my cleaning kit. I kind of just acquired everything. So I'm clean the semi-automatic first here, okay? I'll show you how to clean both of these. I start out, I like to lay a cloth down. You can even use an old towel or a pillowcase from the hospital, whatever you happen to have. So what do we say the first step was when you go to clean a firearm? Make sure it's unloaded, right? So I've cleared this firearm. Do you agree that it's unloaded? You see down in there? Yes. All right, so the next step, we have to take it apart, right? We do that per the manufacturer's recommendation. Your owner's manual will explain that to you. Not a whole lot of parts here. These are really easy to take apart. Normal guns are quite as easy. Okay, so then the first thing I do, I brush out my barrel. If you guys want to pass that around, you can kind of see, if you hold it up to the light, I think Josh said you saw it in his earlier, you can kind of see all the grime and stuff in there that we need to clean out. Over time, that'll wear away at your barrel, it can corrode your barrel, it can cause malfunctions while you're shooting, which in a self-defense scenario, that isn't a good thing. That's disgusting. Right? Clean every glass. Okay. So we're going to take your bore brush, alright? Anybody know which end of the barrel we start at? Do you have a guess?
Start at the chamber.
Start at the chamber. Alright. If you start at the muzzle, there's a chance that you could chip away at that. Okay? And remember on those videos we showed how the gas was escaping around the bullet as it left the muzzle? That can cause that gas to escape in an off pattern, which would affect the accuracy of your projectile. So let's start at the bore. You can actually kind of see some of that falling out. Swab this about 10 to 15 times. Okay. Fine, safe. After that, if you're going to use solvents, this is the time to do that. Patch. It doesn't take a lot of solvent, okay? Fairly minimal amount will do. That's about all I use. Swab that. And again, about 10 to 15 times. Okay? Give that solvent a chance to work. Again, starting at the chamber. After that, you want to take a clean patch. Okay? It's very important to get that solvent back out of there. If you leave it in there, I kind of describe it as toothpaste. You brush your teeth with it, but you don't want to leave it on your teeth. If you have whitening toothpaste, it'll actually eat away at the enamel on your teeth. Solvent does the same thing. It'll eat away at your barrel, and eventually could affect the rifling inside your barrel. So you take your clean patch, all right, again at the chamber, and just swab, okay? And you want to do this now until this patch comes out clean. Anybody who's ever done this knows that you can do this forever, and it don't seem like that patch will ever come out clean. But it will. It just takes a lot of time. So once you've done that, what I do next, remember we talked about the lubricating oil. I come in and lubricate the trigger mechanism. Okay. Everybody see the parts that move here, the trigger. You can see here, you can see the spring. It just takes a couple drops. It doesn't take a lot. I just drop it right in there on that. Okay. Anybody know why we wouldn't want to Gerber oil our firearm, especially if you're going to carry it? What's that?
It's going to leak.
It'll leak on you. I mean, it can ruin your clothes.
Dust.
If you go to grab it and it's oily and you're in a defensive situation, you're gonna be sweating anyway. You don't need that, you know. It could affect the control that you have over your firearm. Okay. So the next thing, talk about the soft cloth. This cloth already has enough oil on it. They hold the oil. I very rarely have to put oil on this cloth. And you just kind of want to get down in and just wipe away any dirt and grit. Alright, so here I have a little bit of trouble getting my finger down in there. You can go to the brush that we talked about for this. Okay? And again, the toothbrush will work fine. Brush that out. Now you're ready to kind of start putting things back together. The last thing we'll do is the outside of the slide and the outside of the frame. So don't worry about that right now. We'll put it back together and finish that. Excuse me. So the oil on your skin is very bad for metal on a firearm. So you want to grab as small area as possible to hold on to that. And basically what you're doing here is you're not looking to put a heavy coat of oil on, you're looking to wipe your oil off, the oil that's on your skin. So then we start to reassemble that. Again, there will be instructions in your owner's manual to reassemble.
That's why they really want you to wear gloves, and keep your oil off of that.
Yeah. I mean that and the lead exposure and the solvents. It's just a good idea. You know, if you want to wear gloves, they're out there. They're pretty easy to get a hold of. So again, you just want to wipe everything down as you're putting it back together. We've already lubricated our trigger mechanism here. Now with the semi-automatic, when you're putting these back together, everything should slide pretty easy, okay? If you meet resistance, you need to go back and check and see what's going on. Because it's very easy. You can see some of these small pieces. It's really easy to bend those. And if you bend those, you're in trouble. So everything should slide well. Should slide easy.
Yes. Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I thought you used it
All right.
him. I'm sorry.
Once you have it put back together, again, you shouldn't have any ammunition in your cleaning area, but it's always good just to double check. Go ahead, dry fire your firearm. Hear that click? That was the striker coming forward, hitting the firing pin. So you know that gun, that firearm is functional and ready to use. So at this point, you just want to wipe your the oil from your skin off of the outside of the firearm. That's good to go. That's clean. So revolvers may be a little easier to clean, but again, when you brush the bore, remember that you have to brush each chamber the same way. Okay. So I really can't start at the breech here, can I?
If you got a cable.
Not unless you have yeah.
I might get
snake.
one of them in it.
Yep, those are nice. And if I had most of the revolvers,
Bless
I'd
you.
probably have one. But in this case, we kind of have to start from the muzzle. That's acceptable. That's fine. Again, 10 to 15 times with the brush to swab that out. For the cylinder here, okay. This is a 5-shot. So then we've got to do that 10 to 15 times through every chamber, okay? And that's where I kind of disagree that maybe they're easier to clean. I agree that they're simpler, but now you've got 10 to 15 times through each one of those individual chambers. So, same thing as with the semi-automatic. If you're going to use solvents, it's a place to do it. Swab it in, and then make sure you take a clean patch and swab it back out. Make sure you have all that out. And then it's just like the semi-automatic. Once you've done that, you put it back together, and again, you're just looking to wipe the oil from your skin off the firearm. So there's spots under here and under here that I can't get on that cylinder. You may have to pop it back out, rotate it a little bit. And then wipe it.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions over cleaning car?
What was the area code between the cylinder and the frame?
We call that the barrel cylinder gap.
Barrel cylinder. I know he explained it earlier in
Yeah.
the
Yep.
course, but
Barrel cylinder gap. That's what we call that. So this is a
Cylinder
44
gap.
special. You can see the gap here is pretty tight on that. There's not a huge gap there. You can see that. This firearm is not horrible about that escape of gas, but it does do it, and it's short enough that you can actually feel it on your knuckles sometimes. So you can understand where if you actually had your hand up here beside it, it could.
I made that mistake years and years ago.
Yeah.
With a 357.
Yeah. So,
I have a question.
got some move burns.
See the little gadget right there that punched in there?
Yeah.
Is that for?
Those are for patches. Yeah. This particular cleaning rod just has a loop that you can loop through.
What, these?
This unit one right here. It's got this point on it.
I don't have an actual jag like that. Most of the time, this is what you come across.
Yeah, I've got them.
So,
And the others has got, it's like a sharp needle on the end. That's
Yeah.
what's hold that
Yeah.
patch. That's what I figured they were for. But